This is the KRMG Afternoon News with Skylar Cooper.
Breakdown. Go ahead, give it to me.
It's Tuesday, just after 5 o'clock. That must mean it's time for the BA Breakdown. We check in live with Broken Arrow City Manager Michael Spurgeon. Joins us live from BA. Hey, Michael.
Skylar, what's happening, my friend? It's been a great day. Hope you're doing well on this Tuesday.
Doing good. Got a lot to get to here with you, so I want to jump right into it. And first of all, I know we're just a few days left here in the month. We have an extra day this time, and it's the last couple of days for that citizen survey you and I have talked about a few times. If you could quickly remind us why this is important to the city and why people should want to fill it out.
Well, I'm proud to say that we were shooting for 3,500 responses, and Aaron McCulloch told me a little bit ago that we surpassed 35. We're actually about 3,700. So once again, Broken Arrows have stepped up, which I know the mayor and council are very grateful for. Really, the survey consists of two parts, and there is a few days left to complete it. The first part is a litmus test on how the public thinks we're doing. We've listed all of our service there. We want to hear from the public. Are there areas that we can do better? Because obviously our goal is to provide the best services we can to our community within the dollars we have available. And secondly, is we're starting to work on our 2026 general obligation bond package. And I think it's very important that we hear from the citizens about what they think the priorities are. And there's a lot of questions towards the end of the survey that actually give them an opportunity to list those priorities, which we will actually marry up with the directors and council's ideas to come with a very robust package in about 2 years and 2 months from now.
Yeah, you mentioned that general obligation bond plan for 2026. That is what I want to talk about. I understand the city has hired a firm to help hone in on what will be on that. Is that right?
Yes, actually, we're looking at, I'm so proud to say this, is that we could be looking at a bond package that's no new taxes. I know everybody likes to hear that because that's very, very important to the council and me, as well as the public, anywhere from about $283 million to $350 million. And we're trying to put that package together. And one of the most important things to do with that package is having great estimates for all the projects, because we can't build everything in the first year. We have to build it over 10 years. So having great estimates is very, very important. And so we've hired Jacobs Engineering Group for consulting services to help us with putting together the project estimates for some of our roads, our buildings, public safety projects, quality of life projects in our parks and facilities, because we want to make sure we've got good estimates that are going to be very flexible, and make sure that if we have to build it in the seventh year, that's going to be a good estimate if the voters approve that. So they're going to be working with us for the next probably 2 years and help us with prioritizing our projects and getting those estimates together so we can present them to council and make sure we got a robust package for the voters to consider.
We are talking live with Broken Arrow City Manager Michael Spurgeon, and we call this the BA Breakdown every Tuesday. I could ask you a lot more questions about that, but it's a ways out, so I think we'll save it for another day because I have other questions to get to, including I saw something posted on the city's Facebook page. In fact, not only did I see it there, but people here in the office have been excited to see that something is coming up soon on 209th East Avenue between Albany and Kenosha, out by Walmart out there. Is that work starting soon, or what's developing out there?
Oh my gosh, I've been doing a happy dance for about 2 weeks now. Obviously, that's one of the most trouble areas in our community in terms of roads that need to be fixed. We do hear about it all the time, and it's well past its useful life. And I'm proud to say that we're going to be awarding a contract in the next few weeks to start the actual work. First thing we'll do is the construction of the sanitary sewer line that has to be built, and we should begin that process in the next couple of months. And then sometime in May, we'll be out to bid and we'll be awarding the contract for that widening of that mile road that sets to the east of the Walmart out there from Kenosha to Albany, or 71st to 61st. It's the road that's probably we get the most complaints about. I mean, we have a lot of great roads in our community that obviously need to be widened and worked, but this is something that I inherited about 9 years ago, and getting funding together for it, getting all the utilities relocated. There's a large ONG line there that costs quite a bit to get moved. So I couldn't be happier that we're knocking this off the list.
Michael Spurgeon here. I got a question for you from a texter. Sure. James just sent this in. He lives in BA, and he's just wondering for some sort of update on New Orleans Square. He says, with the road done and everything else pretty much wrapped up, is there plans for the future out there, or is it what we're going to see it as for a while?
Oh, that's a great question. In fact, at 3 o'clock today to 4 o'clock, I had a meeting about New Orleans Square. And jokingly, about 2 meetings ago, I asked the council to get the band back together, more specifically the Citizens Advisory Committee, because we're ready to go to the next phase of New Orleans Square and what we'd like the advisory committee to do. And they'll probably be meeting, I would say, by April 15th, is to look at two things. Number one, the zoning and the overlays that are there, to see if we can make some changes in the zoning to help promote more development, private investment in the area. And secondly, as we prepare the bond package, we want to see if there's other improvements that the committee recommends, because many of the improvements that we did last year as a part of the intersection reconstruction came from the advisory committee. And what's interesting, when I got here about 9 years ago, the occupancy for the private sector, all the businesses, was around 60%. Now it's in the high 90s. And so we're definitely seeing some great improvements in terms of private investment. And we'd like to see if there's other things that we can do to continue that private investment. And so the committee's going to get together, probably meet for about 6 months, come back with some recommendations to the council this fall.
Yeah, it's been neat to see it change. I grew up for several years of my life before moving to Skytook in Broken Arrow, and right by New Orleans Square, as it's now known, certainly has changed a lot from the old days of, I think it was an Albertsons and the Reese's that was there. Or actually, it was a Price Mart when I was a kid. So it's been a lot of different things. That's now the gym. Michael, we're pretty much out of time, but I have one more thing I just wanted to ask you about, and that is today Governor Stitt signed the grocery tax cut into law. Part of that bill says that cities cannot impose new taxes until at least June of 2025. So just overall asking you your thoughts on that bill and what it'll mean for people in Broken Arrow.
Well, residents will still continue to pay sales tax on the groceries that they pay currently. I mean, that is a very important source of revenue that we receive. It's somewhere, we estimate, between $12 and $13 million a year, and that would be devastating for communities if they didn't have the opportunity to be able to continue to charge what we charge on out of our 3.55 on groceries. And so I'm glad that we're going to be able to continue to do that. I mean, obviously, some residents are going to ask the question. I mean, we just have very few funding sources. And that's why one of the things we always talk about with our state legislators is diversifying our revenue sources to be able to address the elasticity of sales tax and how it goes. But right now, it is an incredibly important source of revenue for us. And I understand the need for tax